Well, welcome back to The Count, where we're counting down the major stories of the week. I'm Mike Carter. We're moving on to story number 4 in our countdown, Biden's broken border. While our government hires an additional 87,000 IRS agents, there are currently no plans to hire any new Border Patrol or ICE agents, as that crisis at our southern border only gets worse. Preliminary data obtained by the Center Square from a border agent shows there are more than 230,000 apprehensions and gotaways recorded for the month of July, nearly 189,000 encounters, and at least 44,000 gotaways. This data does not include numbers from the Office of Field Operations, though, but once released from CBP, it's expected to be much higher. Joining me now is former acting CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan and former Homeland Security Department Advisor Charles Marino. Thank you, gentlemen, both for joining us. Mark, I want to start with you. We desperately need more assistance at our southern border. Agents have been overwhelmed ever since Biden took office. Why is this administration turning such a blind eye to this situation at our border?
Look, that's a good question. I think that is the question. And if you look at the catastrophe, the man-made catastrophe that they've created, look, the reality is this administration inherited the most secure border in our lifetime, and they intentionally unsecured the border. Drugs are pouring across, killing Americans. Criminal aliens are coming across, including rapists and murderers, pedophiles, gang members. We know clearly about the increased national security vulnerability. So that's the question. And look, you could draw no other conclusion that they see a perceived political benefit from the open border policies that we have.
Charles, the Biden administration has officially abolished the ICE labor union, leaving its more than 7,000 members without a collective bargaining agreement or union representation. How is this okay?
Yeah, well, look, it's no surprise. It's their overall approach to the law enforcement community along the border, specifically CBP. They don't want them to do their jobs. They certainly don't care what they think about how to solve the problems down there. It doesn't fit with the strategy of enticement that the Biden administration has created since day one. You know, I mean, if we see what they've done with Remain in Mexico, Title 42, we've seen what these programs can do when they're used correctly under the Trump administration. This Biden administration has turned these programs off from day one. So doing away officially with Remain in Mexico is nothing but semantics at this point, because they haven't allowed the agents to enforce the program anyway, as its original intent was.
Mark, San Diego has now become the national epicenter for fentanyl trafficking. From last October through June, Customs and Border Protection seized 5,000 pounds of fentanyl. That's 60% of the total amount of fentanyl seized nationwide. Since 2016, fentanyl-related overdose deaths in San Diego County have increased more than 2,000%, from 33 deaths in 2016 to 817 deaths in 2021. Biden's open border to blame, Mark?
Well, of course it is, Mike. And look, how much of the time does the secretary or the White House spend talking about the drug epidemic? Look, 107,000 Americans died from drug overdose or poisoning. We know that the leading cause of death of adults from 18 to 45 is fentanyl. And Mike, we know that 95% of the fentanyl comes from the southwest border. But here's what, occasionally they will talk about is what they're seizing. But that's not the issue. What we should be talking about is what they're not seizing. But that's the narrative that they refuse to talk about, and they continue to lie to the American people. The reality is, when you have 2.5 million illegal aliens that you're encountering, there's going to be in one fiscal year, 80–90% of Border Patrol resources are pulled off the front line. They're pulled off their national security mission. They literally hand operational control over to the cartels in large areas along our southwest border. They exploit it every single day. Drugs are pouring in that we have no idea that we're not seizing. And again, as I mentioned, the criminals are pouring in, and of course, increased threat to our national security vulnerability every single day. But you'll never hear this administration talk about it.
Charles, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is now begging the National Guard for help with the influx of migrants being bussed up from Texas after the Pentagon denied her request. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott sent another busload to D.C. on top of the 160 busloads he's already sent there in the recent months. These cities like Washington, D.C. and New York, I thought these were sanctuary cities. Why aren't they acting like them?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's absolutely disingenuous on the part of Eric Adams and Muriel Bowser. We know that Bowser's not making the White House very happy by coming out and calling this what it is, a humanitarian disaster. We saw that her initial National Guard request was denied by the Secretary of Defense. So she's not making any friends in the administration, but we're going to see this grow and grow. Whether it's the governor of Texas putting these illegal migrants on buses, or the federal government, DHS, putting them on the midnight flights to Westchester County, New York, which, interestingly enough, Eric Adams has not mentioned at all. And we're just talking about the low thousands so far that have been bused up to these locations. And as you pointed out, these are sanctuary cities. But this is going to go beyond sanctuary cities. This is going to affect every city that's run by Democrats, because they're going to become overwhelmed as these illegal migrants start to move across the country and hit their communities. These communities are not set up. They're going to get overloaded with their policing, their judicial system, healthcare, schooling, you name it, and their constituents are going to turn on them, and these Democrat leaders are going to turn on the administration to keep their jobs.
Yeah, Mark, let's talk about that feud between New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Another busload has arrived in New York City today. Here's Mayor Eric Adams responding on CNN to the recent comments from the governor of Texas.
I kind of feel like Clint Eastwood. Go ahead, Mayor. Make my day.
What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, it's unfortunate that he believes this is a Hollywood script, and it's not. It is lives of human beings.
Mark, your reaction?
Yeah, you got to love Governor Abbott. Look, the fact is Governor Abbott has done more than any other governor in this country to fill the void of this administration's abdication of their constitutional responsibility to protect the states from threats outside our borders. Look, I was a big fan of him doing this. Look, so finally what we have from both of these mayors, finally, after 18 months, they've conceded and agreed that every state is a border state, and that the crisis and what's flowing across our southern border doesn't stay there as it makes its way to every town, city, and state. But look, the New York mayor, as he's decrying and this feigned outrage, New York, it's one of the largest, most wealthiest cities in the world. And after he gets a few thousand, he's crying complete national emergency. Well, it's insulting, and it's actually tone deaf by the border communities we know. Some of these communities, counties have 35,000 residents. Every 24 hours, they're receiving thousands of migrants. Every aspect of their finances, their resources, and their health and safety are being jeopardized every single day. It's why recently a county judge, the first time ever under the rule of law, declared his county was being invaded. And what does this mayor do? Instead of blaming and putting the responsibility on Biden and Secretary Marcus, he tries to blame Governor Abbott. It's a joke. And as Charles said, let's not forget, why are the migrants coming? Every single migrant on that bus wanted to go to New York City. Why? Because as Charles said, it's a sanctuary city. They wanted to go there.
It's a joke, and it's not very tolerant, is it, Mark? Mark Morgan, Charles Marino, thank you both for your time. Appreciate it.
Good to see you guys.
JP Morgan's CEO is warning that an economic hurricane is coming. Are you preparing? If you don't do anything, your 401k could be a 201k, and that is not good. So call our trusted friends at Lear Capital. For 25 years, Lear has helped investors own gold to protect against market chaos. It's a good thing. They can help you too. Get your information and up to $15,000 in bonus IRA gold. Just call this number, 800-880-4300. That's 800-880-4300.